The return. The alien fleet glided silently through the black sea of space. Their ships were like sharp blades cutting through the void with glowing trails of blue fire. For 500,000 years, their people had spoken about this place. Earth, the old world, the forgotten home of humans. The aliens had ruled the stars for thousands of years now. They believed humans were gone, wiped out in some ancient war, their world reduced to ash and silence. But rumors had never died. There were whispers of strange signals, odd transmissions that no one could trace. Finally, the High Council sent the fleet to return to see the truth with their own eyes. The fleet's commander, Xanor, stood tall in his command chamber. His silver skin reflected the pale lights of the control panels. His many black eyes stared at the screen showing Earth's orbit. He expected nothing but a cold rock circling the sun, its seas dry, its skies dead. But the moment they entered the system, something felt wrong. "Commander," a voice came from the navigation pit. "Sensors are unstable. The planet, it is not silent. It is alive." The crew turned their eyes to the display. Earth was not the lifeless rock they imagined. From orbit, they saw clouds swirling like great beasts, storms dancing across the oceans, and strange pulses of light flashing. Across continents, the planet seemed to breathe, as if it was not a world but a living creature. Xanor narrowed his eyes. "Impossible. No world can survive 500,000 years without collapse. Prepare descent. We will see for ourselves." The ships broke formation and sank through the upper atmosphere. The sound of the engines shook the air and their shadows stretched across the land below. They flew over forests taller than cities, rivers glowing with faint blue light, and mountains cracked open like scars across the earth. One young alien officer whispered, almost afraid to speak, "It feels like the planet is watching us." "No," one laughed. The landing site was chosen carefully, the ruins of a human city, long dead, now buried under vines and strange stone growths. The city looked broken, but not empty. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the shattered towers, pulsing like dying embers. The landing ships touched down with a hiss of steam. Their metal claws gripped the cracked ground. Doors opened, and squads of alien soldiers stepped out, weapons ready. The air smelled heavy, thick with dust and something else, something sharp and metallic. They moved carefully, their boots crushing broken glass and bones half buried in the soil. One soldier pointed at the ground. Bones. Human remains. But twisted. Look, the skeletons were not normal. Some had long, sharp bones in their arms like blades. Others had strange metal pieces fused into their ribs. It was as if humans had been changing, becoming something else before they vanished. The aliens looked at each other, their confidence shaken. "Commander," a scout reported, "there is energy coming from beneath us. Something powerful. It is not natural." Xanor frowned. "Show me." The scout led them to the broken heart of the city. There, under a cracked monument, the ground trembled. The monument itself was strange. Half stone, half steel, its surface was marked with words no alien could read. The symbols glowed faintly as if reacting to their presence. One alien touched the stone. Instantly a voice filled the air, a human voice. "You should not have returned." The soldiers jumped back, weapons raised. The voice was deep, cold, and filled with warning. But there was no body, no figure, only the broken monument. The ground shuddered, dust rising into the air. Far below, something vast moved, like a beast waking from its sleep. Xanor's eyes widened. His heart, if it could be called that, beat faster. For the first time in centuries, the aliens felt fear. He gave the order quickly. "Form defensive lines. Stay alert. This planet is not dead. Something still lives here." Above them, the clouds began to twist unnaturally, spinning into a black spiral. Strange flashes of light struck the ground like silent lightning. The soldiers tightened their grips on their weapons. Then from the shadows of the ruins came a sound none of them expected. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Deliberate. Every alien turned toward the sound. Out of the dust, through the broken arch of a ruined building, a figure appeared. It was shaped like a human, but taller, stronger. Its eyes glowed like burning stars. It stopped and looked at them. The silence was worse than any battle cry. The aliens realized then that Earth had not forgotten. It had been waiting, the forgotten ruins. The air inside the ruined city felt heavy, as if the place carried the weight of 500,000 years. The alien soldiers moved slowly, their weapons raised, their eyes shifting in every direction. Every broken building seemed to watch them. Every shadow seemed alive. Commander Zayner gave the order. Search the area. Record everything. Leave. Nothing unexplored. The squad spread out. Their boots crushed vines that had turned to stone, and their scanners beeped with strange signals. The ruins were not quiet. Faint hums came from the ground, soft pulses that rose through their bones. It was like the city itself was breathing. One soldier stopped at a wall covered in carvings. "Commander, look at this." The carvings were not alien. They were human-made. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the stone, forming circles, lines, and shapes no alien could understand. When the soldier touched the wall, it grew warm, almost alive. Another soldier, younger and braver than the rest, whispered, "Did humans build this? Or did something else change it?" No one had the answer. The aliens pressed deeper into the ruins. They found collapsed towers wrapped in roots, wide streets split open by glowing rivers, and statues half broken but still standing. The statues were human figures, tall and proud, but their eyes were missing, replaced with empty holes. As they moved forward, a strange sound echoed through the streets. A whisper, soft but clear. "You should not be here." The aliens froze. The whisper seemed to come from every wall, every broken stone, every gust of wind. The soldiers raised their weapons, but the ruins gave no target. Zayner clenched his jaw. "It is a trick, do not fear it." Yet his hands trembled. The group reached what looked like the heart of the old city, a wide square surrounded by broken monuments. At its center stood a cracked obelisk, taller than any of their ships, glowing with faint blue light. Scanners picked up energy beneath it. Strong, unnatural energy. "Commander," one of the engineers reported, "the readings are impossible. It is not radiation, not solar, not chemical. It feels alive." Zayner approached the obelisk. The ground around it was covered with bones, thousands of them. Human bones. But they were not ordinary. Some skeletons had metal fused into their skulls. Some had long claws grown from their fingers, and some looked half machine. A soldier whispered in horror, "What happened to them? Were they changing themselves? Or were they changed by something else?" The obelisk pulsed suddenly, light rushing up its cracked sides. The blue glow spread into the ground, forming lines of energy across the city. The ruins came alive. One soldier screamed as the ground beneath his feet split open. A metal hand shot out, grabbing his leg, pulling him down into the earth. His cries echoed as dust swallowed him. The others tried to pull him back, but it was too late. The ground sealed itself, silent again. The squad backed away in fear. Then the voice returned. Stronger now. Clear. Human. "You were warned. And yet you came." The aliens spun around, trying to locate the source. But the voice came from everywhere. Inside, their helmets, inside their minds. It was not a single human voice. It was thousands, layered together, a chorus of warnings. The obelisk cracked further. A piece fell, revealing a hollow inside. The soldiers aimed their weapons into the dark gap. Inside, shapes moved. Rows of machines hummed in silence. Their lights flickered to life one after another like a chain of awakening eyes. "Commander," the engineer whispered, "this place is not dead. It is waiting." The ground shook again, harder than before. Dust rose into the sky, covering the ruins in a storm of ash. The obelisk pulsed brighter, and from its hollow came a flash of light so strong the aliens shielded their eyes. When the light faded, something stood before them. It looked human. A tall figure, made of both flesh and steel, its skin pale, its veins glowing with faint light. Its face was calm, but its eyes burned with fire. The figure raised its hand, and the alien weapons stopped working. Power drained, lights flickered, guns went cold in their hands. The figure spoke in a voice that was both human and machine. This world is no longer yours to explore. Leave, or be erased. The soldiers stepped back, their confidence shattered. They had come expecting ruin, silence, and death, but what they found was far worse. Humanity had left behind something terrifying, and it was awake. The hidden vault. The figure of flesh and steel vanished as suddenly as it appeared, leaving the alien soldiers frozen in fear. The ruins became quiet again, too quiet. Only the hum of the strange obelisk remained, echoing like a heartbeat. Commander Zayner forced himself to speak. This is not the end. There is something deeper. This city is only the surface. Find the source of this power. The engineers scanned the ground. Their devices shook with strange readings, lines of energy that flowed like rivers beneath the ruins. The signals pointed to a hidden chamber far below the surface. Zayner gave the order. We dig. The soldiers brought heavy machines. Blades cut into the stone. Drills tore into the ancient ground. Dust filled the air. For hours they worked, following the signal. And then, with a sudden crash, the earth gave way. A vast hole opened, revealing a staircase of black metal descending into the dark. The stairs looked new, untouched by time. Not even dust had gathered there. It was as if someone had been waiting for them. The soldiers looked at each other nervously. One muttered, "No structure can survive 500,000 years this clean. Someone has maintained it." Zayner silenced him. Down we go. Torches lit the way as the aliens descended. Their footsteps echoed on the black stairs. The air grew colder, heavier, carrying a metallic taste. Every step deeper felt like walking into the lungs of a giant creature. Finally, they reached a door. It was massive, carved from dark steel, covered in strange human symbols. The symbols glowed faintly, pulsing like veins of light. The door was not locked. It was waiting. As they stepped closer, the door opened by itself. The soldiers raised their weapons ready for an attack, but nothing came. Beyond the door lay a hall so vast their lights could not reach the end. Rows of machines lined the walls, silent but alive, humming softly. Blue energy ran through cables like blood in veins. "This is no ruin," one engineer whispered. "This place is still active." The soldiers spread out, their footsteps echoing. The machines were strange, half organic, half metal. Some looked like they had been built by humans. Others looked grown like plants twisted into machines. One soldier approached a large capsule. Its glass surface was covered with frost. Inside, something moved. He wiped the frost away. His breath caught in his throat. It was a human, or something, that used to be human. The body inside was tall, stronger than any normal human. Its skin pale, its veins glowing faint blue. Metal threads ran through its flesh, connecting bones and muscles to the capsule itself. The soldier stepped back in shock. "Commander, they are alive." Zayner's eyes widened. Impossible. No human could survive 500,000 years. But as they looked around, they saw dozens more capsules, lined up like an army sleeping in glass coffins. Each one held a human, or something close to human, waiting in silence. The silence broke with a sudden scream. A soldier at the far end of the hall vanished. One moment he was standing, the next he was gone. His weapon clattered to the floor, echoing in the empty hall. "Where is he?" Zayner shouted. Then they heard it, a metallic screech echoing from the shadows above. Lights flickered, and for a split second they saw movement, something crawling across the ceiling faster than any creature should move. Weapons fired. Blue blasts lit up the hall. But the shadows were too fast. The screech echoed again, closer, this time. One soldier screamed as claws tore into him from the dark. He fell, blood spilling across the black floor. The aliens panicked. Their formation broke. The hidden vault had become a trap. Xanor raised his weapon, shouting, "Hold the line. Do not fall back. We are not prey." The lights flickered again, then died. The hall fell into complete darkness. In that darkness, the capsules began to glow brighter. One by one, they lit up, filling the vault with eerie blue light. The figures inside opened their eyes, glowing, human eyes, and in that moment, the aliens understood. This was no grave. This was an army, and it had just awakened. The awakening, the blue glow spread across the hidden vault, brighter and brighter until the darkness was gone. Hundreds of capsules lit up, their glass trembling as if something inside was pushing to be free. The soldiers raised their weapons, their voices sharp with panic. "Commander, they are moving." Xanor stared, his many black eyes wide with disbelief. Humans, thought to be extinct for 500,000 years, were alive, locked in stasis. And now they were waking up. The first capsule cracked open with a hiss. Frost spilled out like smoke, crawling along the black floor. A figure stepped out slowly. Its body looked human, but not ordinary. The skin was pale, the muscles heavy with unnatural strength, and blue light pulsed through its veins like liquid fire. Its eyes opened, glowing with power, fixed on the aliens. The soldiers aimed their rifles, but when they fired, the energy blasts flickered and died before they could even leave the barrels. The machines in the vault absorbed the shots, drinking the power like it was food. "Impossible," one soldier whispered. "Our weapons, useless." The human figure raised its hand. Instantly, the air vibrated. The aliens' helmets buzzed with static and a voice spoke, not with sound but directly into their minds. "You should not have come." The soldiers staggered back, some clutching their heads. The voice was heavy, layered, like it carried the weight of thousands of voices at once. More capsules cracked open. More figures emerged. Men, women, children, yet all different. Some had metal woven into their bones. Some had strange claws. Some had eyes that burned like stars. They did not look like survivors. They looked like warriors built for a purpose. Xanor shouted, forcing strength into his voice. "Form ranks. Do not let them surround us." But it was too late. The awakened humans moved with speed beyond sight, appearing and vanishing between the shadows of the machines. One soldier screamed as claws cut through his armor. Another was lifted into the air by invisible force and slammed against the wall, his body breaking like glass. The aliens opened fire again, but nothing worked. Their shots fizzled, their blades shattered. The vault itself fought against them. Then, in the center of the hall, a massive hologram appeared. It was a man, tall, armored, with fire burning in his eyes. His form flickered, but his voice was clear. "We are the Guardians. We are the memory. We are the punishment." The aliens froze. The hologram walked forward, its steps shaking the ground, though it was not real. 500,000 years ago, we chose this path. We would not die. We would not vanish. We became more. We became eternal. And we waited for those who would dare step upon our ashes. The soldiers trembled. One dropped his weapon and tried to run back toward the stairs, but the door slammed shut, sealing them inside. The hologram's burning eyes swept across the aliens. "You returned. And now, you will see what remains of humanity." The awakened humans roared, their voices like thunder. The sound filled the hall, rattling every bone in the aliens' bodies. The machines around them pulsed brighter, their cables glowing like veins of a living creature. The ground split open, revealing deeper tunnels below. From the tunnels, more light rose, red this time, violent and angry. Shadows moved within the red glow. Shapes too large to be human, shapes with wings of metal and claws of fire. The aliens realized the vault was not just a prison. It was a fortress. "Commander?" A soldier's voice shook. This is not a ruin. This is an army base, and we have walked straight into its heart." Xanor's face hardened, but fear leaked into his voice. "Then we fight until the end. We are not prey. But even he knew the truth. They had expected silence. They had found an awakening. And the awakening was far beyond their control. The glowing humans stepped closer, their eyes burning, and the IB vault doors locked with a final echoing sound. There would be no escape. The terrifying discovery. The vault pulsed with blue and red light like the beating heart of some ancient monster. The awakened humans stood tall, their glowing eyes fixed on the intruders. The alien soldiers pressed back against the walls, their weapons useless, their courage fading. Commander Zayner tried to keep his voice steady. We came only to learn, we mean no harm. The hologram of the armored man flickered, then leaned forward. His fiery eyes pierced through every soldier. No harm? You bring ships, weapons, armies. You return to a world you abandoned. You call this peace? The soldiers felt the weight of the voice pressing against their minds. Some dropped to their knees, clutching their heads, while others trembled, too afraid to speak. Then one of the glowing humans stepped forward. She was tall, her skin pale like ice, her veins glowing silver instead of blue. She raised her hand, and the machines in the vault obeyed. Rows of capsules opened with a hiss, one after another. The hall filled with mist and the sound of breaking glass. Inside the capsules were more humans, preserved for 500,000 years, yet untouched by death. But these were different. The aliens leaned closer, their fear mixing with disbelief. The preserved humans were not ordinary at all. Some had metal bones fused with steel. Some had skin covered in scales of black alloy. Some had strange growths, like wings folded against their backs. They are not human anymore, whispered one soldier, his voice cracking. They are something else. Something beyond. The silver-veined woman looked at Zayner. Her voice echoed in his mind, cold and sharp. This is what we became. Flesh was weak. Time was our enemy. We made ourselves into something greater. We are not mortals, we are not ghosts, we are evolution. The aliens backed away as one of the preserved bodies twitched inside its capsule. Its eyes shot open, glowing white-hot. With a violent shatter, the glass exploded outward. The creature stepped forward, half human, half machine, taller than any alien in the room. Its footsteps shook the ground. The soldiers fired in panic. Their weapons flared for only a moment before the shots died, absorbed into the vault's walls. The creature did not even flinch. It looked at them, almost curious, before baring its teeth. Another capsule shattered, and another. Dozens of hybrid humans began to wake, their breathing heavy, their eyes like burning stars. Zayner's voice broke. This is an army. They were preparing, even after death. The hologram turned its gaze on him. We did not die. We became the earth itself. This world is no longer stone and water. It is us. Every tree, every storm, every river carries our memory. We waited for your return. And now, we are ready. The ground beneath the aliens rumbled again, cracks racing across the floor. From the deep tunnels below, a roar echoed, long, low, and unnatural, the kind of sound that no living creature should make. One soldier screamed, pointing into the shadows. Something is coming. From the tunnels crawled shapes too large to fit in the hall. Metal limbs scraped against the walls, glowing eyes burned in the dark. These were not human, they were guardians, machines fused with ancient DNA designed to hunt and destroy. The aliens panicked. Some tried to run toward the sealed doors, others fired blindly into the shadows. But there was no escape, and no weapon could help them. Zayner stood frozen, his eyes wide as he watched one of the hybrids approach him. Its face was almost human. Almost, but its mouth stretched too wide, filled with teeth sharp like blades. Its voice crawled into his mind. You came to see the truth. Now you will carry it home. The soldiers screamed as the hybrids moved. Closer, their glowing hands reaching out. Some aliens were dragged into the shadows, their cries cut short. Others fell to their knees, broken by fear before claws even touched them. The vault filled with chaos, shouts, roars, the sound of breaking steel. But beneath it all was one steady truth. The aliens had not discovered ruins. They had discovered humanity's greatest weapon, and it was only beginning to wake. The trap. The vault shook like the heart of a living beast. Dust rained from the ceiling, and the blue glow of the capsules turned red. The air became heavy, pressing against the aliens' chests, stealing their breath. Commander Zayner shouted over the chaos, "Hold the line! Form ranks!" But there was no line anymore. The soldiers, scattered in panic. Hybrids, half human, half machine, moved with impossible speed, striking from shadows and vanishing again. Claws ripped armor. Glowing eyes burned into minds, and weapons were nothing but dead weight in the aliens' hands. Zayner tried to retreat toward the stairs, but the great door slammed shut once more, sealing them inside. This was no exploration, no discovery. It was a cage, and they were the prey. The hologram of the armored man appeared again, towering above them. His burning eyes glared across the vault. "You do not understand. This is not a place you stumbled into. This is a trial. You stepped willingly into the mouth of Earth. And now, the mouth closes." The soldiers screamed as the ground beneath their boots shifted. Plates of black steel slid open, revealing more tunnels. From the depths rose machines shaped like beasts. Metal creatures, with many legs, their bodies glowing with inner fire. Their claws clicked against the floor, their jaws dripped sparks. One soldier fired desperately at the ceiling, trying to blast a hole. The shot flared bright, then vanished. The ceiling rippled like water and absorbed the energy. "It's alive," he shouted, terror in his voice. "The vault itself is alive!" The machines pounced, pinning him down. His screams echoed before his body fell silent. Zayner's mind raced. He had seen war. He had faced enemies across countless worlds. But never had he felt so powerless. Every step deeper into Earth had been a mistake. This was no mission of knowledge. It was a trap set long before his kind had even dreamed of returning. The silver-veined woman stepped forward again, her glowing eyes fixed on Zayner. "Do you know why we endured? Why we changed? It was not to survive. It was to punish." Her words cut like blades. The soldiers trembled, some dropping their weapons entirely. The hybrids moved closer, forming a circle, their claws tapping against the metal floor in rhythm. It was like the sound of a drumbeat, the march of execution. One brave soldier broke the circle, rushing forward with a blade. He slashed at the hybrid, cutting into glowing flesh. But the wound closed instantly, the light healing it in seconds. The hybrid grabbed him by the throat and lifted him high, his legs kicking helplessly. With one twist, the soldier's body fell limp. The others could only watch in horror. The hologram raised his hand. "Now you will carry a message to your kind." The ground shook again. This time the whole vault moved as if Earth itself was breathing. Above, the ruins shifted, buildings crumbled and reshaped. The planet was not only alive, it was reacting. Zayner realized the truth. Earth was no longer just a world. It was part of humanity's weapon. The soil, the air, the storms, they were all connected to the hybrids. The aliens had not just walked into a vault. They had walked into a planet-wide trap. Red light flashed, and the soldiers fell to their knees, clutching their heads. The voice of humanity filled their minds again, louder than ever. "We waited for 500,000 years. We waited in silence. We waited in shadow. And now, you have given us reason to wake." The hybrids roared as one. The machines answered with metallic screams. The vault shook until cracks split across the floor, revealing rivers of molten light. Zayner looked at his soldiers, broken, terrified, dying one by one, and knew the truth. They had no escape. The trap had closed, and Earth had claimed them. The truth revealed. The vault thundered like a storm trapped underground. Red and blue light pulsed across the walls, crawling like veins under skin. Alien soldiers collapsed one by one, their screams echoing as hybrids dragged them into the shadows. Commander Zayner stood trembling, his armor cracked, his weapon useless. He was the last one still standing in the center of the chaos. His eyes darted from shadow to shadow, but he already knew the truth. There was nowhere to run. The silver-veined woman stepped forward. Behind her, the glowing hybrids stood silent like statues of flesh and metal. Their eyes burned, watching him without pity. She spoke, her voice cold, echoing inside his skull. "Do you want to know what happened to the humans you thought extinct?" Zayner tried to answer, but his throat was dry. His voice came out as a whisper. "Yes." The hologram of the armored man returned, towering above the vault, his burning eyes fixed on Zayner. His voice rolled like thunder. "We were mortal once, we bled, we died. But time taught us the truth, flesh is weak, life is short. To endure, we had to change. We fused our blood with the planet. We wove our minds into the storms. We became the oceans, the mountains, the fire beneath the earth." The words sank deep into Zayner's chest. His heart raced. He realized the terrible truth. Humanity had not vanished. They had become something greater, something impossible. The hologram raised its hand. The walls of the vault melted into images, scenes from across the planet. Oceans rose like towers of water. Forests moved, their roots crawling like living arms. Storms formed faces in the clouds, eyes staring down with fury. "We are Earth," the voice said. "Every tree, every storm, every river is ours. We were silent because we chose to sleep. But now, you have awakened us." Zayner fell to his knees. His soldiers were gone. His fleet above the planet was silent, their signals cut off. He was alone, facing the truth that no one in the galaxy would ever believe. The hybrids stepped closer. Their footsteps echoed like drums of war. Zayner lifted his head and shouted, "Why spare me? Why not finish this?" The silver-veined woman leaned down, her burning eyes inches from his. "Because you will tell them." Zayner's blood ran cold. "Tell them what?" Her voice was sharp as steel. "Tell them humanity endures. Tell them we are not dead. Tell them we are waiting." The hybrids roared in unison. The vault shook, dust falling like ash from the ceiling. The hologram's eyes blazed brighter, filling the hall with fire. The galaxy mocked us. They thought we were dust. Now they will learn fear. You will carry this truth home. You will be our messenger. The ground split beneath Zayner. A column of light shot upward, wrapping around him. His body lifted, helpless, as the vault opened like a mouth spitting him out. The last thing he saw was the glowing eyes of hundreds of hybrids watching him, with hunger. Then he was hurled into the sky. His body flew through fire and storm, through clouds that whispered with voices of humanity. The planet itself pushed him upward until he was back in orbit, lying broken inside his ship. The screens flickered alive. His fleet floated in silence around Earth. Their ships were dark, their crews gone. Only Zayner remained. A voice whispered in his ears, soft, calm, and terrifying. "We waited for 500,000 years. Now we wait no longer. The galaxy will remember us." Zayner wept, his hands shaking as he sent the signal. Across the stars, the message spread. Humanity has returned. Humanity is Earth. Humanity is waiting. And far below, the planet pulsed once more, alive, watching, hungry,